It's the end of the year. I want to focus at least some of my time today on setting up my life for the new year, and I wanted to share that with you all. If you are not new to my channel, then you know that I love Notion, I love Google Calendar, and that is the main things that I use to organize my life and just make sure that I get things done. There are so many different components to my life. I work in tech, I freelance, I create content, and I am a parent. So all of that coming together is a lot to juggle. Today we're going to focus on Google Calendar and how I use that to balance my life. So we are going to pull up my Google Calendar. We're gonna start off from the 8th of January, and then we're gonna continue on from there because the first week of January is holidays, so we're not gonna do anything there. There are people that do a really complicated Google Calendar setup, and even like on Notion, but I believe that the simpler you keep it, the better it is, the easier it is for you to come in and actually use your Google Calendar. So that's what we're gonna do. As you can see, some of the tasks or calendars have already pushed forward from the previous year. But what you see here in yellow, this is just from Christmas vacation, which is coming towards Sunday. And then I have like my gym, so I like to schedule that in because if I don't, then other things get scheduled in and then I don't go to the gym, and that's really important for my physical and for my mental health. So we are gonna leave that in, and basically I have that set Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and again it has its own color code, and if you go to the next week's, it has it just keeps repeating. So I'm going to show you all how we do this. We're going to do one. I have my morning routine, so we are going to input that. And for my morning routine, we are going to do starting from the 8th, and that usually starts from 6 in the morning. Yes, I wake up at 6 in the morning every day. So that's usually from 6 in the morning until 8:30, which is when my kids get dropped off at school. So that is a long, like I literally have a 3-hour shift before my 9 to 5. So that's that. And I save that under my personal and home calendar. So that's there. So we are gonna do a custom repeat, and we are gonna make it repeat for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And you can mark that as it never ends, or you can select a day. I select a day because I have my personal like work calendar where I have like vacation days, and then my kids have their own calendar for school. So I go based off of that, and my kids have a vacation. Their next holiday is on February. So we are going to do it until February 11th. This event, then we save it. This event is going to repeat from Monday until Friday from 6 to 8:30 in the morning until February 11th, and then after that it's done. Usually when my kids have vacation from school, I don't follow like a strict schedule. I don't say like, okay, I'm gonna wake up at 6 in the morning every day, because maybe I don't have to. So that's my morning schedule. And then let's say, for example, the first week of January, I want to journal every day for 15 minutes. So that's something I do want to do. I want to start journaling more for my mental and emotional health. So I have another calendar that is me time, and that has a different color. It's like a bluish color, and then you can also include emojis. So we're gonna do like a journal. This one is cute. That is not how you spell journal. Okay, that's how you spell journal. And let's say I only want this to go from, we're gonna do this every day, so we can just say again, what's gonna end on February 11th, because you guys already know. And then we are only going to do this until 15 minutes. And you can also change the color. So for example, my me time calendar is set to this turquoise color, but you can keep that as your calendar color, and then you can still change the colors. So usually my tasks, I like to keep them in yellow. So we're just gonna save that. And now we have journaling from 6:30 until 6:45 every day. So that's that. And then Wednesdays, I don't like to go to the gym because it's like the middle of the week. I usually like to film, and I usually designate at least 1 to 2 hours to filming. It doesn't usually take me that long to film, but I like to set apart instead of the gym time for filming time, and I put that under content creation, which has its own calendar and its own color. So we can do that every Wednesday and another thing, if you find it like annoying to change the time, you can also just move it here and it'll just move there. So you don't have to like manually insert, and then you can also make this bigger or smaller. We're gonna do until 9:45, and we're gonna custom repeat this because I want to be more consistent with YouTube. So we're gonna custom repeat this. So every Wednesday from 8:30 until 9:45, we are gonna film until February 11th, and we're gonna leave that color. So now every Wednesday we're gonna be filming from 8:30 to 9:45 until February. For work, I'm just gonna set it as work for now, and then I have calendars per client. I know you all know that I freelance, so if I have, for example, 2 different freelance clients at the same time, I will have 2 calendars. So here on the side you can see I have different calendars, so I'll have 2 separate calendars, and then I can just tick them or untick them depending on whether the client is active or not, or whether that project is done. Then you can also hide from the list. For example, that was an older client that I worked with. If I do have multiple clients, what I will do is I will just set a time of work, and then I will set it to BM Tech, and that is just kind of my like overall company, my Inc, I guess you would call it. So like BM Tech is like my freelancing and all of like work related stuff, and then we save that. We're gonna do that a custom because we work every day. And then again, that's gonna end on February 11th, and then that's gonna be from 10 until 5. So 10 to 5 is reserved for work related stuff. So that is either splitting between clients or just anything related to freelancing and tech work. So we have that. So now we have that work. Then if I am working with different clients at the same time, I will manually insert their work hours. So for example, one of the clients that I'm working for right now is Shockwave. And they have their own calendar, and that's how I keep track of the time that I spend on each of their like working for them. I also have a separate account with them, like email account and calendar with them. So that's a whole other thing, but this is how I keep it track of it here on my computer. And then I'll have it just here for like if I have multiple clients. If I don't, then I'll just, instead of doing the whole work, I'll just set it to this client. But let's say I have 2 clients, then I'll set, okay, from 10 to 2 I'll work with Shockwave, and then from like 2 to 4, you know, and then that will change depending on how much work is required for each of the clients. For now, I'm only working with 1 client. So what we are going to do is we're gonna delete this because this was just an example. Actually, we're gonna delete all of them, all the events. And because we are only working, at least from now until February, I will only be working with Shockwave. We are going to edit this, and we are going, no, not all day. We are going to create a custom, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, until February 11th. Not until 2, until 5. So that is my work. And that's the time that I have allocated for work. And then depending on the tasks and whatever I need to get done, then I include more events within this event, or as the days approach, I will add the task. So for example, I want to add a task here update parse function, for example. That's a task that I need to do on that day. Then I'll just leave it on that. And then I'll just keep adding, for example, let me just think of something. Code to, I'm just adding examples. And then I'll just keep adding the tasks like that. And then let's say, okay, I want to work on this one first, and then you can just move them around. Then let's say I have a meeting with someone from within the company that I need to work with, then I'll just do okay, formula meeting, and I'll still put it under Shockwave, but it'll have like the name of who I need to meet with. So that's how I will just keep adding to that event. But then I'll know, okay, from this time to this time. And then let's say I have a dentist appointment on Tuesday, then I can easily just shorten this, say only this event, and then say, okay, I need to go to the dentist on this day, and save it. So that's easy to keep track of the timing. And then I do that every day. So at the start of the day, once I come back from the gym, I'll sit down for like 15 minutes, which is those 15 minutes right there. And I'll look at, okay, what am I gonna do today? And then I'll input any extra tasks. And then once I am done with working for that time, I'll look at the time and then I'll shorten that. So for example, let's say on this day I worked only from 10 to 2, I'll shorten this so I know exactly how many hours I'm working. Or let's say I needed to go somewhere and I didn't end up coming home until 11, I'll move that. So the idea is that I have this time allocated for work, because of course work is my priority apart from my family. So every day these change, and that's one thing that I love about Google, is that you can schedule it, but it's not set in stone. Like you can come in here and let's say this day I'm only going to work 2 hours, and then I'll just add that and I'll make that change, and that's fine. And then if I am somewhere and someone lets me know, oh, like I have an appointment for this day, then I'll add it in. And it's just great to like be able to easily move things around. I don't have a dentist on this day, so we're gonna remove that. Something that I was doing previously was that I was manually inserting every week the hours, which I can still do. But I think that maybe scheduling that time 10 to 5 just for work is gonna help me to prioritize it even more. As opposed to coming to the morning in my calendar and seeing, for example, well, it's Friday, I don't have anything to do today, when obviously I have a lot of work today to do. So I feel like scheduling in work is actually going to help me be more productive and know mentally that, okay, I have to get work done. So then that's my schedule for that, 9 to 5, from 10 to 5. And then I have this recurring meeting that I have every Wednesday for my client. And then from 5, kids/family time. So, and then I have a calendar for my kids. So anything that is like kids related or family related goes under this calendar, and it gets this color. So I know when I see it on my calendar, this color automatically triggers, okay, kids. So what emoji are we gonna use? I don't know. We'll do the heart. We'll just do the heart. So this repeats. We're gonna do a custom repeat. And it'll end on February 11th. And that's actually from 5 until 8. So from 5 to 8, that's my kids' time, that's my family time. That's the time that I cannot and do not make other appointments. I just don't, because it's crazy. It's mayhem at my home. So I focus a lot on my kids in that time. So if they need to go to the doctor, or if they need to go to the dentist, or if they need to get something done, it's in that time. Of course, it can fall within other times, and then my schedule changes. But again, having that scheduled just makes a world of a difference when it comes to like my mental health and even like my emotional health, because just not having so much stress really helps me emotionally. So that is that part of my calendar. And then from 8 to 12 is kind of a crazy free for all. Usually I'll have meetings and those just end up getting scheduled randomly. The only consistent meeting that I have is at 9:30, but I usually work at least 30 minutes before my meeting and then 30 minutes after. I really like planning my meetings and planning what I'm going to talk about, points that I need to talk about over in my meetings. So I take 30 minutes before to do that work, and then 30 minutes after the meeting I take the time to plan out what was discussed in the meeting and what needs to get done for the next day. So that's why you have the extra 30 minutes. So that's that. And then I don't do any crazy planning on the weekends because I have kids. Every day looks so different. So the only thing that I have planned is my kids' soccer and my daughter's gymnastics, because they need to go to that at a certain time. And that is what the schedule looks like, you guys. So that is my calendar setup for the new year. I have an actual video explaining more into detail on how you can set up the color coding and the different calendars here on my YouTube channel, which you can find here. I will link it up here and I will link it in the description. So if you want to see that, check out that video. I didn't want to do a lot of like repeat content, and that is still the same. The way that you color code and the way that you create those calendars are still the same. So I didn't want to talk about that in the video, but you can check out the other video, and it's a really concise video that will help you out a lot. I hope this video was helpful and I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any more content, and give it a thumbs up, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.
Always takes too long, yeah, too long. I ain't got all weekend. We had a good run, yeah, a good run, but the clock is ticking.